Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. New year, same old us. Let's talk ball. Okamoto signed with the Blue Jays. Are they going to sign Bichette and everyone? We got to catch up on everything. It starts now. Jose Berrios.
Oh, Vinnie Pasquantino homer.
Oh.
Foreshadowing.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Pete Fairbanks in Miami. Giants have new starting pitchers. We just need to get back into it. This is the first real week. This feels like my first real week since I was wearing the Phillies Karen outfit on Halloween. Between the holidays, vacations, off-season, kind of a cold stove. But it's about to get hot, Coach Trev, because we got about 5.5 weeks till pitchers and catchers. The WBC train is going to be leaving the station. We still got big free agents, big trades. There's different rumors every day again. It feels like the front offices did their, all right, Christmas, New Year's, now we'll get back to work. I guess we did the same. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great, Jakey boy. It's great to be back on the sticks with you and Bobby Sirocco. I think Dalton's still out, so shout out our guy Dalto. Yeah. I always love this time of the offseason because I feel like we have some clear winners of the offseason, and then we make fun of those people later on in the season. Oh, yeah, you won the offseason. But right now I feel like there's 2 or 3 teams that have done excellent things and a couple teams that really need to step it up. I think we're going to get into that a little later in the show. But yeah, as soon as the calendar flips, as soon as it flips, I know that spring training is right around. I saw one of the tweets already. Was it Danny Wexelman? 40 days out from pitchers and catchers. I think it was her. I don't know. She was asking about my pullover, my fleece on the last episode. A lot of people were into that. What's up with that? It's just
it's
from Zara. Shout out.
You saw me post that comment got to me. Trev cosplaying a bear because it's just a big brown fuzzy jacket, and it worked. Don't get me wrong. What's the deal with Zara? Are we Team Zara? Are they fast fashion? Are they good? How's any of that work?
I think they used to be labeled as that, but that's a nice piece I got right there. I'm not throwing that thing away after 2 wears.
No, you're not.
That's a staple piece.
That's a forever piece. That's a twice a winner. Show them what you got. Yeah. I mean, pitchers and catchers. I'm seeing February 10th, 11th. This is hilarious. Baltimore Orioles WBC players have to report the 9th. So those extra 2 days for the WBC guys. But we're here, Harry. It's January 5th that I don't know. I keep spinning. There was some serious Yankees trade rumors online yesterday for Edward Cabrera, but if they're rumors that are getting out to the public, is that smoke for other teams to get their Edward Cabrera trade offers? We're kind of in this spin cycle. I know we ended our last, we went live for a Mai because we're different entirely, and we just missed each other and wanted to yuck ball with the people. That we kind of did a loose scrapings of what else needs to happen. We're going to do a little bit more of that. But also there's a massive Blue Jays AL conversation that I think needs to happen. Maybe it'll spin into a little more AL East, because the Blue Jays haven't stopped. They're still the favorites for maybe the 2 best hitting free agents. And Trev and I, before the show, we were doing, ownership talk. Are the Blue Jays cool now? So why not just keep on running? And I guess we'll just start there, Coach Trev, because Kazuma Okamoto signs 4 years, $60 million with the Toronto Blue Jays. $5 million signing bonus, no opt-outs. Okamoto has been it's an interesting one. I think people think he's going to hit to some degree. He has really impressive strikeout to walk numbers, which is one of our favorite things on this show. I'm kind of blown away. Everyone's been talking about him like he's not a power guy. If you're on YouTube with us, Rob showing his WBC homer that he hit off of Freeland and a couple more tank jobs. His homer numbers were there. So this is one of those where I get nervous as a baseball fan when we almost go into old school scouting where they're like, I don't know if the pop's going to translate. and then I expect to see Okamoto with 20 homers by the All-Star game or something like that. But the bigger news is Toronto, he fits what they're doing, right? The whole contact thing. He supposedly can play multiple positions, the corner, outfield, and infield, which, is that true? Can you play those positions or can you not? I think that's going to be one of the interesting things. And just this whole Toronto conversation, Trev, because they're not done.
You're right. He fits Toronto because they have a bunch of guys that do both of those. I mean, Addison Barger's a prime example. It goes third base to the outfield. It seems like, again, and they have positional flexibility there. It seems like you put Okamoto here, possibly you platoon both of them. But if I'm an organization, it's great to have that flexibility, but I'd rather have my guys in one position, especially if you value defense. I think that's the best way to get better defense out of your guys is to put them at one position, let them have those reps. I'm looking at this guy's swing, obviously, and I say this and I hope it doesn't come off the wrong way. I love like the Japanese nature of the swing, and you get that from all like kind of parts of the world. You have different ways that guys, the mechanics are. And you know, this is like a little bit of Kazmatsui with the hands out there. They're low, and he takes a freaking hack. You're telling me this guy's power is not going to translate? Challenge. Whoever said that, challenge. Dude. I'm taking this guy to hit for power in the big leagues. You don't go oppo like that.
Was that off Roki? Rob, rewind that one.
I mean, that's a beautiful
Was that
swing.
right center off Roki? Time out. Time out. I'm over it.
It's great. Who is saying these things?
He hit 30 homers for 6 straight years in Japan, and we're just treating him like he's a random content. I'm over it.
I saw 3 swings. I'm like, he's going to hit.
I'm over
He's going to hit for power. Look, he might get overwhelmed a little bit from time to time. Look, he does have a lot of, movement in the lower half. That's a timing mechanism for him. That could be
that highlight was against the Cubs. What is this?
Yeah, no, look, I'm telling you, there are some things, right? But you don't tell me that the power isn't there. Like the contact rate might, go down a little bit. The strikeout rate might go up a little bit. But when this guy connects, he's going to hit for power. So I don't want to hear that. I don't know who was saying that. It's ridiculous. But no, I love this for the Blue Jays, and you're right. There is a broader conversation about kind of what they've done. We had a off-screen discussion about ownership, and like they're kind of like the cool kids in town now. Like hockey, that was it in Canada. It's hockey. Sometimes you get the Raptors every once in a while. But now you make it to the World Series. You're 1 out away from winning the whole damn thing, and you become this, jewel of the country. And it makes you want to continue to be that. And we've seen that this offseason. I mean, Dylan Cease, we got Bieber opting back in. You got Okamoto. Now, who else did they sign? Rogers. Cody Ponce coming over from freaking Korea. Like they've done work on this roster. And it's still rumored, like you said, that they're in on Tucker or Bichette, bringing them back. They're going to have a logjam. AKA depth. Ernie Clement, if he gets relegated to the bench, I mean, he was the best that I've ever seen in the postseason. So this is another step in the right direction. And we talked about teams that need to step it up. I mean, Orioles, nice job this offseason, but the rest of the AL East, like, let's go.
Yeah. With the Blue Jays, like you said, the depth that we talk about right now, and this is before Bichette or Tucker, and hey, they're not guaranteed to get them, and maybe they don't. Like that's the whole other side of this. But Springer, Barger, Guerrero, Santander, who was their big splash last year, who had just a brutal season on it and just injury wise. Alejandro Kirk, Varsho, Okamoto, Clement, Jimenez. On the bench currently listed, Davis Schneider, who against lefties hits 1 for them. Took Snell up top. Nathan Lucas is listed on the bench. That guy was the best. Like you talk about, if Ernie Clement wasn't the best hitter you ever saw, it was Nathan Lucas. And then Miles Straw is listed as a bench guy for them, which, okay, that's fine. But we're also still now referencing that they might sign one of the top guys. And go look at their pitching. The rotation, Gossman, Cease, Bieber, which, Trev, you told me that extension was coming. Haven't seen that. Yesevich. Am I saying that right?
Oh, my God. You're savage, dude. That's
Ponce,
I forgot about him.
Ponce is listed in the rotation over Jose Barrios, who got 150 millis to play this game. Barrios is currently listed as their long man. That, like, the Blue Jays are here. They signed Tyler Rogers, like you mentioned. And, again, they could still be in on it. And I guess the other lame baseball-ism or sportism that I do believe in when it comes to Okamoto, before we kind of start talking a little more AL Beast, dude, Okamoto is going to come in and, okay, let's say the power thing is true. Let's say we can't scout, although, I don't know, taking Roki to right center field, I'll take that. Like, for what Toronto's approach is, David Popkins, coach of the year, like, they're going to tell Okamoto, like, do your thing, dude. If you hit 10 homers this year, that's fine. If you hit 28 homers this year, also fine. Just do your thing out there, probably from the bottom of the lineup. Like, what a great landing spot for him to fall into that. I don't know. I'm interested to see the defense more so. Like, I think he's going to have some sort of approach at the plate that's going to work, and to what degree, I don't know. When you tell me you got a corner infielder, corner outfielder, you know, for me, that's this guy's an absolute weapon, or it's like, where do we put Okamoto today?
I'm looking up height and weight. He looks like a big boy.
He looks thick. I looked up.
He's 6'2", 12, 6 foot 212.
Ooh.
That's a pretty thick boy. I need to see. Yeah, I want to see some of the movement right there. We're seeing him playing first base. Okay.
Rob had one play at third that, again, it looked like the best, the best play I've seen a third baseman make. So you're just like, again, who's scouting this? But I don't know.
It's also okay to have a few leaks in the dam when you got the rest of the fielders like they have. Well, like, if you have a defensive team that can go, I mean, you have Andres Jimenez right next to you at third base. Like, it's okay to be limited in your range a little bit, because the guy to your left is going to get the ball.
And that play looks.
You just look over and say, "You got that one?" Okay.
Yeah, I'll guard the line, Jimenez.
Yes.
That play looked pretty clean to me. I guess let's see. And if you're a Toronto fan, you have to be absolutely loving this. They could have. I think a lot of even World Series teams, especially when, they were right there, like a half IKF step away from winning the World Series. It's like, it's almost like, just like, let's run it back. Like, we believe in these guys. They're adding, they're improving, which maybe it does lead us into the rest of the AL East a little bit.
I forgot about Savage and the 14 pitches he threw in the regular season, then became, their guy in the postseason. They're going to have him for a complete 162 and add on top of that Dylan Cease.
Right. Which, like,
they made moves, man. Also, by the way, Scott Rowland had him listed as 6'4", 245 at third base.
Oh, come on. 245? That's a defensive end.
I remember watching him, and he was a bear.
Yeah.
I was cosplaying a bear. He was a bear at third base. And Joe Creedy, too. Also, nice hands.
Online rumors about you being a bear. Let's talk about the rest of the AL East with a little better help, because that's what everyone's kind of looking for in the AL East. Baltimore kind of did their thing, New York and Boston. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. New year doesn't require a new you, maybe just a less burdened you. Therapy can help more easily identify what weighs you down, holds you back, by offering an unbiased perspective to better understand your relationships, motivations, and emotions. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs, preferences, and 12-plus years of experience. An industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist anytime. This month, don't wait to reach out. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up. Get 10% off at BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. Trev, I heard a moan or a groan in there. Was that something happened?
I'm sorry, you weren't supposed to hear that.
Oh,
I got like when your back needs to just like get cracked.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean. Don't go there.
You went there. You went there.
No, I just mean, like, I'm trying to get a nice little pop out of one of my spinal. What do you call that?
Yeah. Cord?
Didn't get it.
The spine, man. That's one of those things. Every now and then
A vertebrae.
You see a video about like what your spine does, and you're like, what?
It's like a octopus in your inside of you.
Just controls everything.
Yeah.
Like literally everything.
Yeah.
What is that? Okay, AL East. What else were we? What did we get lost about pre-show? We should have been doing. Oh, syllables. Oh, we have a haiku coming later in the program. We have a haiku. Matt Quatraro extended for the Royals. Make sure we don't forget that. That we may have asked Vinnie Pasquantino to send in a haiku. I guess rest of the AL East, Trev, the Yankees literally haven't brought in a player off another team yet. They Cade Winquest, for those deep in it, Rule 5 selection from the Cardinals. We'll see if he makes it. But otherwise, it's literally been guys that were on the team last year. A lot of Rosario, Paul Blackburn has the Yankees fan base in a weird spot. The Red Sox, it's interesting because Bregman's kind of the big free agent. They brought in Sonny Gray. They brought in Wilson Contreras. That they are a Bregman or Bichette away from being like a winning offseason team, in my opinion. Johan Oviedo shouldn't get overlooked. He's a major league starting pitcher.
Yeah, two starters. Wilson Contreras is really nice. They're still, I mean, they're rumored heavily now that they've made a big offer to Bregman. That'd be, I mean, bringing him back, I think you could say that would complete their offseason, but they still have this outfield depth they need to, or they're looking to deal from.
Right.
And if you're going to deal one of those guys that's a proven Major League Baseball player, and again, I'll take Tristan Costas off your hands if you don't want him.
Right.
I think they're still, I guess, whatever they want for those guys. Major League talent can return for those guys. So they could be set with Alex Bregman, and I feel like if they did that, I would rate their offseason like pretty highly, dude. Like bringing Bregman back is huge. Wilson Contreras is a huge bat for them. And then you get two starters. I think that's a pretty dang good offseason. But if you were to deal one of those other outfield pieces, and depending on like, does it bring back a controllable bullpen asset? Does it get you another starting pitcher? And does it give you some prospects? Whatever it is, I think I'd be rating them close to the A category. So like they have a good chance to end this offseason doing really well for themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna happen. This is a little bit Chris Rose for you, maybe not, or I don't know if I'm putting you in a tough spot because you're players guy Trev. If you're the Red Sox, would you rather have Bregman or Bichette?
Bregman.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't even think that's a question for me right now. I just think Bregman seems like a guy. And look, Bichette's obviously a hell of a player.
Sure.
I think Bregman's going to age really, really well in this game.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to be able to put in the middle of your order for like many years to come. His swing just works. It's so compact. And I'm not trying to take away from Bo Bichette, who's been one of the best pure hitters in baseball for quite some time. But I just think the leadership aspect there too can't go understated. That's all we heard, even when he was hurt last year. Basically, another coach taking young guys under his wing. And you might think that sounds like, hey, that's not that big of a deal, dude. Go get it done on the field. I'm telling you, it's a big freaking deal to have leaders like that in your clubhouse.
Every day for 8 months. Like, yes. Yeah, I guess there's, from the baseball side of things, there's just something tempting about, like, if Bichette just continues to hit for the next 5 years like he is with Bo Bichette in that ballpark, and sometimes we get a little lost in the ballpark. Going back to Bregman's free agency last year, where it was almost like, oh, Yankees, Tigers, I don't think he'll work there because it's a big left field. And it's like Red Sox, oh my God, he'd be amazing. It's like, it's pretty similar baseball at each stadium. That you're a good ball player now. I guess there's just something in my head that, like, if Bichette signs with Boston, I picture like 3 batting titles.
Bregman's a career 846 OPS guy. Yeah. Like, we're not giving this guy enough credit.
Also being nails at third base. But I guess the other spin there is, like, what if Bichette goes to second base and it's almost like Simeon-esque, like he's a great second baseman, he hits for the world. I like Marcelo Meyer at third base. Maybe it's just the hair. I don't know. And yeah, I guess just a little bit of Yankees fear for the people while Trev just stumbled into something else. The Yankees are actually pretty open with their playing cards a lot of the times. They want Belly. And they want another pitcher, which it's probably in the trade market, and Edward Cabrera or, I don't know, someone else. There's just a lot of nerves around Yankee land. Their offense did finish first in OPS and first in home runs, but it's also how much of that is Judge. Can Trent Grisham run that back? Like, what is Ben Rice? Like, there's just a lot of... I try to get in the front office's shoes when I think about a lot of these decisions. And, like, if you're the Yankees, you're saying, like, hey, we had arguably the best offense in baseball last year. We don't need to tweak it. Cody gets you back there. And it's just a weird thing that Toronto kind of pumped them on both sides of the ball. But I guess they kind of did that to everyone. So, I don't know.
I think through 162, and people are like, oh, they only have Judge. And it's like, okay, but Judge is two guys. Like, he is so freaking good. Through 162, it's hard to find your way around an Aaron Judge. But I do think in the playoffs, there are ways to say, we're just not going to let this guy beat us.
Right.
So that's where I would go with, like, Yankees needing to add more depth around him. But, again, he's so good. We saw him hit the homer in the postseason. That was fun. He had to look back at the camera. I had the thought that I had, Jake. I'm sorry. I have to get this out there. Who's going to cost more, Bregman or Bichette?
I think it's Bichette because of age.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about AAV.
If Bichette is on the Blue Jays' radar, why isn't Alex Bregman on the Blue Jays' radar?
Well, dude, that's where this
putting him at second base in that Blue Jays lineup, because he's a contact-oriented guy as well. That's kind of what I stumbled into. Then I was like, okay, let me think about this for a second. He's had more walks to strikeouts in like 3 of his years of his career. It's always right around 1-to-1. He fits the mold. He can play defense. He can play second base. Like, I haven't even thought about Alex Bregman going to the Blue Jays. Trev, but if they are in the market for another big-name player, I don't know if you get a better one than Alex Bregman in that lineup. Like, he fits everything for them. In fact, I would say he probably fits better than Bo Bichette. Is that crazy to say?
Depends. He could. I guess the thing with Toronto is we're going to find out. Like, again, if you guys want a free agent on your team, your GM probably wants them too. Not the problem. The situation a lot of time comes to ownership. We've talked about it for years, how Toronto, they own Canada, they have money, and they've brought in consistent free agents, and we kind of noted that, was there a Toronto tax? Was there an extra year? What was it? Right now, it doesn't feel like that. The ownership feels all in, like you mentioned, or this was before the show, but like, I think Toronto ownership feels pretty cool right now. I think they go around town and they're like, hey, go Blue Jays. Let's win it next year. Who knows where their limits truly are? Like, what if their ownership group is looking at LA and they're like, that's pretty damn cool. They're winning. We have the budget. I think they're still making money. That's the other secret here. They're like, what if Toronto goes nuts? Like, what if they're already close to nuts?
Career earnings for Alex Bregman so far?
Ooh. 120.
138 million. He just opted out of 83 more.
Yeah.
He's going to be a $250 million guy.
Yeah, and hey, his free agency did the same thing last year, so I don't think he's panicked at all.
36 mil last year, 36.6.
I guess I want you to call me out on this if this is bullshit. Oh, could have just said BS. New year. For Bregman, he's kind of got side hustles in the U.S. Do you think he'd have any? Every year now we've done the, hey, guys kind of want to sign with Arizona. There's a little bit of a perk there. Do you think he could be like I don't really want to deal with Toronto living there for the next 5 years? I don't know.
What, Canadians don't eat salsa? Is that what you're trying to say?
I didn't say Canadians don't eat salsa.
I think that's what you just said.
I'd really like
look,
take that back.
If Toronto was in the doldrums and they weren't like a good team, I would say, yeah, maybe, hey, it's the travel's not great and I have my family here in Arizona. That's a far flight. It's about as far as it gets. But they just went to the World Series, and they're one of the toasts of the town right now. So I think they're much more appetizing than in years past.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Bregman's going to have his choice. I think maybe of like 3 or 4 different teams that he could go to.
I guess that's what I'm saying. And again, Toronto will take this as shots fired, but I think Bregman is one of the few players in position. He's won World Series. He's achieved everything. He kind of said he was looking for like his final contract. Like last year's free agency, he was just like fishing for whatever he could find. That I don't know. He's got new kids and stuff that it could be on the table that even if Toronto matches or has the best offer, he could be like, well, I wanted to be closer to Arizona. I wanted to be closer to something like that. I'm not saying that's happening. And I don't know. You just created the first Bregman to Toronto rumor, so I don't want to shoot it down.
Has that not been rumored?
I don't think so. I think it's like the same teams. I think it's like Red Sox, Cubbies.
Just saying, does the guy fit the profile or does he fit the profile?
Well, okay, let's wander. Because you're not wrong here. How about this? Cincinnati Reds were supposedly in on Schwarber. Okay, he's from Ohio. Sick. What if Bregman goes there? Like you get defense in a ballpark. Like, why aren't there rumors like that when it's?
I'll tell you why. And maybe I'm wrong about this. I think I don't think the Reds are a Bregman away from. Maybe they are. They made the freaking postseason last year. People forget that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, there should be. Like you should want a guy like Bregman on our team. Now, is he going to make upwards of $36 to $40 million a year? It sure seems like that. Especially if it's a shorter contract. There was some deferrals in that one that he turned down when he opted out of. So there's that. He's willing to do deferrals, which I think is a lot of teams think is a good thing. Yeah, I mean he fits, man. Like, who doesn't want a contact-oriented guy with an 846 career OPS that's a clubhouse leader that can play multiple positions, has gone through some real tough times in the big leagues, but found his way out of it. Like, this guy's – I mean, of all the free agents, if you're asking me if I want Kyle Tucker or Alex Bregman for the next 4 years, I think I'd choose Bregman. And I think that's a big statement because Kyle Tucker's a hell of a ball player, very well-rounded ball player. But I'm big on Alex Bregman.
I think Tucker's hitting a weird spot. I don't know. Kind of for what you just said. Like kind of for what you just said. I think I don't know. I don't know fully what it is. Or I think, and I mentioned this a little bit last episode, I think Bellinger being a version of Kyle Tucker when he's right, I think is kind of thrown off Tucker's free agency the Tucker team has never been clear. That I still don't know which direction that's heading. Mets? Where you sleeping?
Mets, Cubs.
Within that
Dodgers.
Rosenthal article, actually, he mentioned the Dodgers being a suitor and paying like a really high AAV for only 4 years or something like that.
Sounds horrible. Oh, you're going to pay me a little extra to be in LA on the dynasty team for a couple years?
He doesn't need to be a clubhouse leader there. He just needs to just be a guy.
Just show up.
Yeah.
Show up. Yeah, we might bat you third today. We'll see. Let's I guess I want to go not off the map because I know that'll make you nervous a little bit. There's one team I kind of want to talk about that I think will bring us into the NL West a little more, and maybe it'll just bring us into the bigger team perspective. I actually want to talk a little bit of San Francisco Giants with you because they've added 2 starting pitchers to the rotation, 2 guys who actually had nice years last year, and it's feeling like a Giantsy offseason, and I don't know if I'm saying that in a nice or not nice way. And that's all brought to you by Hims. Shout out to Hims. I use their shampoo. Hims can't help you fold a fitted sheet. Nobody really can. But it can help with your performance in that bed. Take control of ED with personalized treatments made with doctor-trusted ingredients prescribed by licensed providers, 100% online through Hims. you can access personalized prescription treatment options for ED. If prescribed, Hims offers access to ED treatment options ranging from personalized products to trusted generics that cost 95% less than the brand names if prescribed. To get a simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/talkin. Hims.com/talkin for your free online visit. Hims.com/talkin. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Yeah, Coach, I kind of felt weird, and I feel like I should have thought about this more. But during the weird part of the offseason, and depending when signings happen, the priority goes up and down. The Giants, which were a team that felt like they were in an interesting spot for a couple years, and they weren't getting guys, but then it was like, wait, they kind of are, and then they extended these guys: Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, Devers, Chapman. Yep, I mean there's your core. All of those guys get 9 figures. They signed Tyler Mahle.
You got it. Nailed it.
Who in his 16 starts last year had a 2.18. Okay. And then Adrian Hauser, Senor Puke, as he's tastefully known in our circles, 21 starts with a 3.31. And you're looking at these guys as, Mahle, I think there's some serious upside from there. Some of his splits since he's been pitching recently have been very good. Hauser, I think, is more of a guy that you look at his surroundings and it's like, okay, pitching in San Francisco, that can be a good environment for him. Pitching with the defense that San Francisco has assembled around the field, that I don't know. I think when we got early quotes about the Giants and we were wondering if they were going to be big free agent shopping again, it was kind of like, well, I think they've done that. That they're in like a sneaky nice offseason right now.
Well, they needed to add rotational depth. They needed to add bullpen depth, and they've done that. Foley's a guy that's I don't believe will be back until June or something like that. So, we'll have to follow kind of his rehab and see how that comes back, because when he's healthy, he's been obviously very, very good. You mentioned Mahle and Hauser, two like very, very, very reliable starters to go along with Logan Webb and Roop there. So like they've rounded out that rotation. Robbie Ray, shout out. They've rounded out that rotation in a nice fashion. And then you look at the offense and the position players that they have. And if you just look at the lineup, it's a nice looking lineup, but feels the numbers were not there last year whatsoever. Do I need to read them off to you? Let's just go OPS. 22nd in baseball and OPS, 17th in runs. They didn't steal any bases, 29th in that category, 19th in homers. And like the ballpark's not great to hit in, but you need more out of this offense. And I think you can expect it. Like, I don't know, like tell me where they have holes in this lineup on paper, but then you watch them throughout the season and they're not scoring runs, or they're going through prolonged periods where they're just kind of not getting the job done. Like, does Bryce Eldridge, a full year of him, make a difference in that lineup? Like, does Rafael Devers starting there, having a full offseason and spring training together, does that make a huge difference? Like, maybe. Because, again, look at that lineup. Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, Devers, Chapman, Ramos, Eldridge. Like, this is looking like a formidable lineup that just didn't get the job done last year.
Yeah, Devers, when he came over, he slumped a little bit, and then he got hot. And there is an interesting thing. I feel like Adames and Chapman more than Devers. I think Devers over 162 has shown where he lands every time. I feel like Adames and Chapman are very streaky guys. Like, they're either on fire or kind of cold. That I feel like that could be tough for a team. Or like, would I be shocked if April ends and it's like the Giants went 18-6? It's like, no, because you'd look at the top of that lineup and you'd be like, yeah, if those guys have their best month, the top part of that lineup is nasty. I guess the second half, I really wish there was something I could, like, I don't know what Bryce Eldridge is for next year. Luis Matos, like, talk about, that guy kind of had his prospect shine. That's gone. That I don't know how much more bidding they have to do. I think I would love if there was a couple more. A couple more guys I've seen play Major League Baseball, and it's like, yeah, I know what you're going to get out of 120 games out of this corner outfielder.
Just think, yeah, who is available for them to go out and get? It doesn't sound like they're in the Tucker sweepstakes. It doesn't sound like they're in the Bellinger sweepstakes. So, like, who's like the impact corner outfield bat that's out there for them?
I mean, you'd be looking at the next tier, and I guess this can be good for all fan bases. The next tier of outfielders, you're looking at Harrison Bader. You're looking at
I love me some Harrison Bader. I don't think he's the offensive threat that you need.
No, but I guess I don't like Bader's fit with San Francisco. I think there's a lot of other teams he fits in great. That again, that's not a Harrison Bader, but even like this kind of next tier of Mike Tauchman, Austin Hayes, like. Okay, Marcelo Zuna. Hey, if that DH spot's open and you want to let Eldridge develop a little bit, I know what the Bears going to provide day in, day out. That, again, in the NL West, I'm not sure what all of it means. Your guy Max Kepler, Trev, come on.
You haven't, I'll be honest with you, you haven't named one bat that I think changes the fortunes of the San Francisco Giants. And again, no slight on those guys.
Right,
they're the right piece for a different puzzle.
I think we're saying the same thing different. Like the Giants have their big pieces, and if it works, it can work. Like a lot of those guys are multi-time all-star stud dudes. Never mind, we skip over Logan Webb, who's always like the fourth best pitcher in baseball, and Robbie Ray actually had a nice year last year. That pitching depth they added, major league arms that when they're on the field, they're pretty productive. And I could also see, like, at the end of this free agency, looking back, and how many teams that are going to be like, would have liked to have Tyler Mahle at that point. Mahle. Wouldn't have hated having either of those guys at that price point. So, I don't know. I just thought that was notable of the things that we haven't talked about. Like, I don't know, the San Francisco Giants, who are going to have playoff expectations, added 2 guys to their rotation.
They're one of the teams I'm most interested in following this year. I think they've gotten lost in the pack out there in the NL West, and then obviously the Dodgers have taken everybody not by storm because they've been doing it for 12 years in a row now, but they lead the pack. I think the Padres are always a fun team, and the Giants have just kind of got lost. Devers was a huge splash. Bringing in Chapman Adames, that was great too. Like all these guys, like they've done the moves, but it just hasn't resulted in anything yet. Now you bring over Vitello. I mean, that's another.
Right.
It's just a fun storyline to watch.
That's going to be kind of nuts.
Buster Posey's running their team.
Good-looking guy, Vitello. I saw him in.
Yeah. I won't be a hater.
I saw his street clothes look, and I was like, all right. I mean, again, I know you're kind of the Gabe Kapler type, but I liked what Vitello brought to the table. Also, if people are wondering my male crush scale, the Panthers head coach, I know you've got a big game this weekend, Rams-Panthers. Dave Canales, I think is his name. Saw him in street clothes, and that was a big like, oh, shoot, you're like kind of a young, hot dude.
Yeah, I got to decide if I'm going to Carolina on Saturday. Shout out my guy 9 MVP. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, I thought
4 TDs yesterday.
I was surprised there wasn't the Patriots BS quote after the game. I think they had 5 rushing touchdowns. And again, they could have done whatever they wanted. But I thought it was interesting. Like, you could have fed a couple of those more to Drake May, and that could have been a little more of a conversation.
It wouldn't have like if you're going for touchdown to interception ratio, there's throw 7. There's not a contest. The only thing Drake May has is a 1 seed or a higher seed.
He's got the higher seed, which historically that's mattered, but
he's beat one team with a 500 record or better, and Matthew Stafford plays in the best division in all of football. And don't start me here. This is talking baseball.
The schedule thing was pretty wild.
It's wild.
I will admit this. I have more Patriot hater in me than I expect sometimes. But I think it's just tied to how good they were in that era of still being a high school sports fan, just watching them win every year. That was a little talking football, everyone. go check out Justin Pennick, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's zoom out on some teams a little bit more, because that's what I keep saying, Coach Trev. I guess let's do, or here's my Chris Rose. NL West, who do you think
Who's the favorite?
I'll go after the Dodgers. I guess it was real. I was going to ask, who do you think's going to be your second favorite team come opening day, but that's really unfair because we never know what the Padres' next move is. Do the Giants have anything up their sleeve? Are Snakes, like, is a Ketel Marte trade going to happen? I guess as of today, and this has been the conversation and is probably going to be the conversation in the NL West for the next 5 years, I guess who's number 2?
I think it's the Padres. And again, maybe I do believe in the team more. They did have some guys leave. Obviously, Dylan Cease isn't going to be there. They re-signed Michael King. They have that bullpen. I still think there's a core there on the position player side. And it hasn't really worked out, but I also feel like they've put together some damn good teams over the last couple of years where I feel like Padres fans are like, all right, like this. I feel like they are content with how things have gone. Have they gotten over the hump? Have they gotten to the World Series? No, but they've had good seasons. And I think everybody is just looking up, up to 5, Jake, to LA and seeing how do you compete with that? Like they've become that type of monster where it almost seems like we just got to get lucky in the postseason against them. Like they're going to run it. They're going to win the NL West, even though I guess the Dodgers, did they win the NL West?
Trev,
I have it until like the end of September.
I was just going to do this to you because it's shocking in hindsight. Because it's like,
it is crazy that I think the foot was off the gas pedal for the Dodgers. We talked about that before the season too, but I still think if you're just comparing organizations and big league rosters, they're not the same. But again, Padres 90 wins and Dodgers only 93 wins last year.
I think there's a weird Padres. Yeah, when I saw that the Dodgers won the division by 3 games, shocking.
And it wasn't until like the last couple of weeks we did this not too long ago.
Crazy. I think there's a weird Padres vibe for the generic fan because that 2023 was just supposed to be the year. That was Soto, that was Snell, and that year never got off the ground. Otherwise, the 3 years outside of that, 22, 24, and 25, they've won 89 or more games. Like, they've been a playoff team 3 out of 4 years. It was just kind of weird. Their 1 year that it was like, it's about to happen, they sputtered. That I still think that's in our head. But you're right. Of the other NL West teams, I think the Padres deserve the respect, and they still have the talent on the roster that, I don't know. I'm worried about rotation depth a little bit, but you could do that with every baseball team who's not the Dodgers.
Yes.
Or Toronto. The rest of this is brought to you by DraftKings. Let's talk some more teams. Who needs to get to work in the next 5.5 weeks? The DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Every playoff moment feels bigger. It's a fun weekend coming up. You saw us. We leaked into it. Just so many good football games. The DraftKings, they have your back with the early exit protection. If a player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. Not bonus bets, cash. Here's the best part. New customers, if you bet just $5 and your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code JAMBaseball. Code JAMBaseball. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. So, Coach, I guess we talked about this a little bit because there's kind of like the positive spin. It's like the snaps for who's done or who could be done and be like, hey, that's a nice offseason. I think we're kind of more focused on like who needs to go to work because you could look at a lot of the big boys. I know maybe I get too caught up in New York. It feels like both of those teams need to figure it out in 5.5 weeks. I guess who else jumps out to you that it's like, hey, it's kind of go time?
There's 3 teams in my mind that I guess need to do something.
Okay.
It's the two New York teams. Your Yanks, as you mentioned, have only re-signed players. The Mets need to figure out what direction where they're going. Are they going to trade some of their young pitchers? Are they going to sign a Kyle Tucker? They need to figure out a direction because they started to get rid of some of their core players, which, again, if you make the right moves, corresponding moves, I'm fine with. If you don't, then it seems like what are we doing there? So I think it's the two New York teams. And then the one I think is kind of a wild card, but makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. So the Detroit Tigers. You got to make a decision on Scoobs, man. Like if you're going to trade him, trade him. If you're not, then you need to go out and do something. You can't run it back again. Same roster with Skubal. It hasn't worked. It's been okay, but it hasn't worked. And I don't think you're just going to do that. I don't think you're going to do the whole song and dance with him, and you're not going to keep him and get a qualifying offer. That's not going to happen. I don't think that's what you are trying to do. And I don't think you should trade him during the season. So it has to be now. They need to get it going. And the two New York teams, those are my two, pat on the butt. Like, hey guys, off season this January 5th. Now let's go.
Yeah, okay. I kind of didn't have the Tigers in that boat. As I look at their roster, I mean, it's the feeling that we've had with the Tigers. That top half of the Giants lineup that we're like, damn, I don't know. Those guys in their best year, yeah. Giants could be a very good offensive team. I guess the names are a little different. Glaber, Carpenter, Riley, Green. Okay. They have a bunch of guys that did accumulate WAR last year. It's actually shocking. Remember that Tigers team that literally nobody hit? What year was that? That was one of the saddest rosters. Oh, sorry, Tigers. Surprisingly, almost every hitter that's listed to be in the Tigers offense last year had a productive season.
Yes, they did. A lot of OPS pluses over 100. I know what you're talking about.
That I guess for me, I haven't had the Tigers in that boat.
Are you going to run it back, though, and just keep Scoobs? It's not happening, man.
I've been on that train the whole time because I don't think the value is going to match up. And, I don't know. I
guess if you're a Tigers fan, it's got to be such a weird spot to be in because your organization is not going to pay up to keep him. Because we've already had the talks about, $200 and something million off from what he's looking. So unless a miracle happens, and I don't think it just doesn't seem like that type of situation, he's not going to be with your team after next year. So do you want your franchise to keep him for this year, give it another go, and then just get a qualifying offer for him? A lot of the times I've been on that side a couple of different times. With Shohei Ohtani, I thought the Angels did the right thing in keeping him. Maybe in hindsight, you could look back and say, "Oh, they probably should have, got something for him." But at the time, they were in the playoff picture. I thought they owed it to their franchise. I don't think it's the same situation here. If you're not going to keep him, I think you can get a ton of value. And I do believe it's Harris, right? Scott Harris. I do believe he said obviously nobody's untouchable. That's one of his quotes. Fine, I get the gesture there, or the notion there. So. You have to do it now. You cannot do it during the regular season. I've been on that train the entire time. It has to be in the off season. You just can't. You just can't give your fan base Tarek Skubal for the first 4 months of the season and then be like, actually, we're out.
Well, that's where I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they ride it. They believe in Hinch. They kind of believe in what they're doing.
So one last hurrah with the boys?
I think that's what I think so.
Okay.
And hey,
if Tigers fans, let us know how you feel about that, because I'm very interested. I guess I really haven't had that situation with the teams that I root for.
If you have it,
it's a very interesting, unique situation to be in.
If you have a season from hell to start, then you go, okay.
Yeah, but they're not, because they play in the Central.
I know, and that's where, hey, Tigers fans, talking about the good times here, the 22 Tigers. The only person that played more than 31 games and had a positive OPS plus was Eric Haas. Yeah. So, hey.
Okay.
That product they got last year.
Give me some more names on that team.
So I think that was the Akil Baddoo first season that ended up in a bad spot. Torkelson when he was still struggling. Scope, Baez, Candelario, young 21-year-old Riley Green, 39-year-old Miggy Cabs. Yeah. So, but again, the other side of this conversation that we stumbled into a couple times was, okay, let's say wherever my brain is at is right, which usually not the case. But like, okay, you're going to keep Scoobs. And this is the year, then let's do like a 1 year, like let's sign one of those opt-out contracts. Like if Bregman's willing to do an opt-out thing, like let's
He's not willing to. He already did that. He ain't doing that again.
But like someone is, and like let's bolster this one more time. But then the other side of that, and this is where I think baseball's running into a problem is, okay, if you're the Tigers, season from hell happens, injuries, play, whatever it is, you trade Skubal, you can still get a pretty amazing package towards the deadline where you have more teams competing against each other. And I think the other side of this for the Tigers, like you mentioned with the Central, okay, if you're the Tigers, do you want to pay a free agent big money, or could we make it to the deadline and then trade for a guy with some prospect capital that we only have to pay for 2 months? Like, I think that is in a lot of teams' heads. And I think like you just kind of did the nod that it's like business and team-wise, that might be the better move.
There was an interview that Harris did during the offseason, and I got to this point where I was watching a bunch of GM interviews because I had to do a show with Chris Rose, and he loves that more than anything.
That's still...
And he said, we're going to get better because our guys on our team are going to get better. That's like kind of his vision. And you mentioned like the guys, they all had decent years last year. No doubt about it. The overall offense, pretty good. 11th in runs scored, 10th in homers. Very slow team. Don't steal any bases, but they make up for it because they slug. Sure. So he expects, Colt Keith to get better. And, I think he even mentioned Dylan Dingler by name.
Yeah.
He's like that. He wasn't on anybody's radar coming into the season. Now he's on everyone's radar. He goes, I expect more of that from our roster. So that's a little insight into where his head is at. Hey, we like our roster. These guys are going to improve because they're getting more ABs at the major league level. I'm into that. Now, if you said, like what you said, let's keep Scoobs and let's wait to make our move, not dealing him at the deadline, but adding some sort of impact bat, or they kind of already have done the bullpen thing. They've added Kenley. Yep. So maybe they go out and get another pitcher. Like I can see a world where that happens, but that means you're not going to deal Skubal at all. Then you're just going to take the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, would love that for Tigers fans. I would love that. Jimmy Norp will be happy.
AL's wide open, and he's the bad man. Did they took Seattle to Game 7, right?
It was a 50,
did they have them beat?
15 inning game. Corey Polanco walked him off.
Crazy. What happened?
It was a wild
What postseason. Was October?
It was wild. That is our busiest time of the year.
Yeah.
I'm a zombie at the end of October.
Yeah. I guess the only team that I think deserves to be mentioned in this, like, the offseason still needs to happen, or at least in my opinion, the Phillies. Is that crazy to say? Like, I know they re-signed Schwarber, but they brought in Adolis Garcia. Real Muto's a free agent. Ranger Suarez is a free agent from that team. That, like, I think if the offseason ended today, the Phillies took a step back, and they can't be doing that. And I guess I believe in their front office that I don't know, in this. Okay, I think everyone's on, like, New York. They still both those teams need to do their thing. The Dodgers are still lurking for big free agents. I guess the Cubs deserve a shout out here, but they also like their team, and they've got some young actual prospects around that I think the Cubs just might come. I think the Phillies don't, like, Castellanos is listed as their last player on the bench right now. Real Muto's a free agent. Ranger Suarez is a free agent. Like, And it's a front office that makes moves that I guess I still feel like they're going to have a big couple weeks coming up.
Yeah, now that I'm kind of like looking around, they bring in Marcell Ozuna. Okay.
Excuse me?
Or who am I? Adolis Garcia.
Whoa.
My bad. You mentioned him earlier. So they bring in Adolis there. You preempted the Rangers Suarez free agency by trading for Jesus Luzardo, but obviously you're better with both of them in your rotation. Yes, the JT Realmuto contract needs to get done. You could deal for a different catcher, but I think JT just kind of fits there. And even if you did get JT, you're kind of like you're just running it back, right?
Exactly. That's what.
And we've been waiting for this team to be the guys, and they made it to the ship once, but they haven't won it yet. So, yeah, basically, if you bring Realmuto back, you're just down Ranger Suarez. You added Brad Keller to the back end of your bullpen. Okay,
traded Strom away. So traded
Strom. I could see what you're saying.
I know,
and are you going to get an MVP 2 out of Schwarber next year? Probably not.
Dolly Garcia, and I don't know what the comeback player of the year award is, but he feels like a guy that stadium, that team, maybe. He also hasn't been great for a little bit.
Yeah. And Bryce Harper now has got a chip on his shoulder. Is he MVP 1 this year? Probably not, because Shohei Ohtani exists, but maybe you get MVP 2 out of him. I'm not betting against that. Justin Crawford is a guy that you're going to see what he's got, looks like, right?
And maybe he's got something, but I'm just saying, we just talked about how cool it is for the Blue Jays that they feel empowered going into next year. Like, not only do we do that, but we're getting better. I think a team in their division, the Braves, could be done with the offseason and they'd feel great. Like, okay, Strider's back. We added some pieces around the edges. Like, I just think there's a different feeling going into camp when you're like, hey, we got some new stuff here.
So I'm kind of interested in this because we have these guys who have been a veteran-laden, roster for them, big names, big dogs. Infusing that with some young talent seems awesome,
right?
And you got this guy Aiden Miller, who's 21 years old, had a great year at Double-A last year. He's a middle infielder. Like, what does he bring? What does he bring to the table? So, there is that aspect to it that I feel like we never talk about with the Phillies because we just expect Dave Dombrowski to deal those guys and go get more major league talent. Yes, I agree with you. Like, the more I look at the roster now, I'm like, oh, shit, man. Like, they are not better than they were last year.
And we end up laughing when we do every team's profile, which we've got a little bit of a shake on this year. We'll let you guys know as we get closer. But Shelfie, our resident Phillies fan, and your forgotten rotten teammate in the warehouse, his first thing he points to when he talks about the Phillies not being as successful, I guess, as they hoped, was the young guys never took a leap. Like Stott, Bohm, Marsh, they never took that next step. That it is right, and again, this is where your front office either knows or they don't. But Andrew Painter and Aiden Miller are two top 15 prospects. That, hey, if they're dudes and Crawford is too, maybe we just reopen the window further and blah, blah, blah. If not, and I guess this is the same thing for the Cubbies, because I was looking at Ballesteros, Matt Shaw, Owen Casey. Okay, you can either be adding and extending and watch out, or you could be shooting yourself in the foot for a season. And I guess the Cubs could kind of afford that. The Cubs have a core that it feels like is going to ride. It feels like they're the Phillies 3 years ago, where the Phillies are now, it's 3 years from then. So, analytics.
I don't know where you just went right there.
Yeah. Phillies got to do something.
You got to do something. I think Cubs got to do something.
I don't know.
There is Cubs that what you're talking about. There is that. Okay, how much do we believe in our player development? How much do we believe in our farm system? Because obviously that dictates what you do in free agency. Well, we have these holes. Well, we have guys in our organization. I think a lot of times we get caught up, especially with these quote unquote big market organizations. Like, hey, just go fill it through free agency. That's obviously doesn't happen 100% of the time. Like, you need guys to come up. You need guys in your organization to come up and be a part of your everyday roster, and then you can go supplement the talent somewhere else. So I think that's where maybe some of these teams are landing. The Tigers, the Cubs, maybe even the Phillies. Hey, let's pump the brakes on these free agents. We don't love the fit necessarily. We don't love the dollar amount. And if we have these guys to start the season, we can, take the temperature of what we got, and then via trade during the season, we can upgrade. So there's always that. It's just the offseason, so we get excited, Jake. We say, this guy fits. He does this.
I know. And it's I guess there's still a fun who's of those other, like when the Orioles came in and got Alonso, who's gonna poke their head out of the turtle shell? Texas Rangers, you out there? Mariners, do you have a spicy move in you? We're gonna find out in the next couple weeks. We have to, right? We will see.
It's kind of nice, and I feel like, I don't know how I feel about saying this, but like the guys that get posted, they have a deadline. It's
right.
Like they're going to sign. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think it's great for them. Like, that's why the Players Association doesn't want a free agent signing period, because like that takes away some of your leverage.
Well, that's what I guess I just did that. If this was a busier early free agency, I think they'd have more leverage of like, there's still a lot of teams that are like, we don't get Okamoto.
I think it works both ways.
Yeah. So do I. Trev, you had the brilliant idea before the episode. Matt Quatraro extended for the Royals. Let's royal up. You said, hey, start a group chat with Vinnie. Flex. So I told Vinnie Pasquantino, Forza Italy, WBC coming up. Let's go. And then I said that Trevor requested a haiku about Matt Quatraro. So he sent us one instantly. Didn't question it. Like 1 minute later, responded. Trev, I think you should read it. You're a little more cultured than me. You were just over there. That I think you delivering this would be more powerful.
The definition of a haiku: 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. We looked that up, right?
We looked that up.
I think there's a little bit of flexibility in it, and maybe there isn't, but in our haiku world, there is.
World it is, yes.
Matt Quatraro. Every pitch has a purpose. Quiet fire burns.
Quiet fire burns is pretty good.
Vinny, unbelievable right there.
Quiet fire burns.
This guy kind of does it all. Hits for power, has hair, plays D. He was like a postseason correspondent.
Yeah.
Writes poetry. Best friends with Bobby Witt Jr. He's going to football games.
He's like a dude. Like some of these guys aren't dudes. He's a dude.
You big league this guy one time.
Dude, it drives me nuts.
Loser
bro.
You are.
It drives me nuts because it's literally the opposite of who I am to everyone. And it was the end of a long drinking sesh.
Golly.
I didn't even big league him. I was just like, oh, nice to meet you, man. But yeah, on a normal day, I probably would have talked Royals with him for hours, and I didn't. And I'll live with that forever.
Go Twins. Go Twins.
Yeah, not a ton of Twins talk this episode, which means leave a like. That was a little rude. Guys, we got more coming. We'll see if any of the big ones sign. Again, there's still the guys we would have circled as go live before the free agency. There's still a lot of them out there. Tucker, Ranger Suarez, Framber, Bo, Bregman. And who knows if there's going to be the big trade. Cattell? Scoobs? We'll see. Otherwise, we're back on our Monday, Wednesday BS, people. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Feel blessed.
Exactly.
Get to talk ball with you guys.
Hey, Jimmy O'Brien.
Whoa.
I called you back.
Oh,
left you a message. Was it a butt dial? I would love to talk.
Forget who I was talking to. It was someone that was like, no idea what we were, and they asked the job, and I was like, yeah, a little Signetti, like Google me.